Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Real Talk with Joe and Cody. What's going on, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah.
You went to game day last week with the Ducks
Yeah.
versus Indiana. How'd that go?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
I know how it went, but how did it go? Let's
Yeah.
just talk more of how was your
Let's
time
not
with your son? Like,
let's not talk about the game. Let's talk about the experience.
well,
No, it was
there's
great.
a happiness as a Beaver alumni that it happened. However, I
Sure.
can't really say too much because of the 400 people that showed up to the Beaver game, to the home Beaver
Sure.
game, and watched a loss to Wake Forest. But anyways, yes,
Yeah. But
I am
hey,
kind of
you
sad
got a
for you.
you got an opportunity for a new coach that can maybe come in there
True.
and change the culture. So,
Yeah, true.
yeah, no,
It seems like
the
we talk about this every 3 years with the Beavers. It's like, yep,
right?
yeah, we got a chance to be something every few
Yes.
years, get a new coach.
Right.
And
Well, and Jonathan
anyways,
Stewart, I saw that he got fired from Michigan State
oh, I
on
haven't even
Saturday
seen
too,
that.
or Sunday. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I have zero care about that.
Yeah.
That one I'm a little bitter about of how he left us there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Karma
I get
comes
that.
back and kicks you right in the pants. But anyways,
It sure does. Yes.
you and your kiddo went down to the Duck game and went to see game day. How did that all
Yeah.
go?
It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We woke up early. We wanted to go kind of experience the whole game day thing. Not the whole thing, but like we got there to kind of experience the last hour, watch the probably one of the worst field goal kicker. If anybody watches College Game Day in the morning, they'll do
Oh,
like
yeah,
they'll
that
pick a
kid
random
was
fan,
horrible.
and oh my goodness, we couldn't see from where we were standing, but
Yeah.
we could see where it was at. And the first kick, we didn't even see it go above
No,
people's heads.
the camera didn't
And then
even
the
catch it.
yeah,
My son
and
was
then
like,
the
"Where did it go?" Like, it went
yes, it was
sideways, like, off camera. It was
terrible.
terrible.
And then the second one was even worse. Well,
Yes,
maybe it was a little better. We could actually see the ball,
slightly.
but
Yeah.
it was just like a 10-yard hook to into the
Uh,
trees, but
for $1,000,000.
$1,000,000.
Like, can you imagine being a college kid, $1,000,000?
No. That'd be
I think
nuts.
that, like, yeah. If I was a game day, well, I guess you can't prepare for every game day, but I was like, dude, I'd be getting my kicking leg ready. So, um, yeah, it was pretty bad. You're
Yeah,
still with us, right? It looked like there
I'm
was
still
some
here.
recording issue.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and I feel bad because it's like, dude, that is $1,000,000 that you had a chance at, and you didn't
Yes.
even it appeared you didn't even try.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah,
So,
what else was it like?
it was good. It didn't rain too much on us, which was nice. We just wandered around, hung out. We were sitting up pretty high. Some of the people that we were sitting by, you could tell that they were not they must have just got free tickets
Mm,
or something. Like they had no interest in the game at all. So my son and I were like two of us out of like say the 10 or 15 people around us. We're the only ones up and screaming and standing up,
oh,
and
really?
everybody else just like sitting on their hands and like, well, I mean, I know that not everybody that goes to a game is necessarily a fan. Like it could have just been
For
like
sure,
a
for
I'm
sure.
going with someone and sure, why not? But it was kind of funny. Like we had to have probably been very annoying to them. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
like I thought maybe they would kind of go, all right, well, I guess this is when we stand up and yell. So maybe make it more fun. But no, it was a great time. Like, I don't know about you, but I was kind of like going into it, I was like, "Oh, man, I can't remember the last time that I got, like, one-on-one time with Eli, our oldest." And so that was really
Yeah,
cool going
yeah,
into it of just like, I get the whole day with him, and we have nothing to
for
do
sure.
other than just hang out with each other and talk and watch a football game. So it was really fun, especially from that standpoint of just me and him, because usually it's, he's got friends with him or it's the whole family and there's,
For sure.
everything going on. So
Yeah,
it's kinda nice just to get that one-on-one time and, get the experience of the
yeah.
game too, but
That's cool. Yeah,
yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't turn out in your favor, but the
No.
game win or loss. But hey,
Yep.
it happens.
That's okay.
I know what it's like to lose.
Yeah.
Being a
Yeah.
Beaver fan, it's just in a struggle. So,
You know, I'd love to see them turn around.
yeah,
I've never been one of those, and maybe it's because I probably know more people that went to Oregon State
yeah,
and being close down there. I've never been one that's like anti Beavers. So I don't like seeing them in the spot they're at. So
That's bad. I was raised,
yeah,
when they were in the Pac-12, it was like when you went to Oregon State and you hated the Ducks. Like when you went
totally.
there, that was just what you
Yeah,
was bred into you. And it's just once they left, I think you and I have talked about it, is once they left, kind of it degrades the whole competition. It degrades that like
yeah,
rivalry now. And I'm
right.
not saying it's bad or good. I've cared less. Like
Hmm.
it's like, I used to be like anti, like just couldn't stand it. And it's like
Sure.
they're not even part of us. We're not even in a different like level at this
Yeah,
point. So it's like, doesn't really
right.
matter. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
maybe it would change if it was like they were both competitive, top 10 in the nation or whatever.
sure,
But right now we're in another rebuilding year like we're used to the majority of the years. But yeah,
sure. Well, I think
yes.
like back years ago when both teams were kind of they could be in a similar spot or one of them was better than the other and it was the last game.
Yeah, yes. There
And
was
it
a game
had
day
a
once for that.
yeah, it
Like,
carried a lot of weight
yes,
and it
it was
was like
cool.
you could kind of spoil somebody's season
For
or,
sure, for sure.
you could you need that last win to get you to here.
That
So it
was so
was,
much fun. Those days
I
were so
know.
good. Like, when
Yeah.
it was that last game, that Civil War was like
Yeah.
it meant something to one or the other or both.
Totally.
Like, it was like, even if Oregon State wasn't doing well, it's like you could take down
Yeah.
the Ducks
You can
and their,
exactly.
and their what like championship bid or something like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's long gone, but maybe it'll come
Yep.
back.
I hope so.
But anyways, so real estate news. Let me see what's
Yeah.
going on here and see if you They says mortgage rates are falling. Is that true? They dropped to their
Yeah.
lowest in nearly a year.
Yes. Yeah,
Is that the
we're back to where we were prior to the Fed announcement.
Okay.
Everything was going in a good path, and then the Fed made their announcement, and like we've seen in the past, the mortgage rates actually started to go up after that. Usually because it's an overreaction to what was said or what wasn't said, or they thought that he was going to be more, pro rate drops here, and he didn't say certain things. So usually there's like a little bit of an overreaction,
Yeah.
and there was. And then the last couple days we've been gaining ground. Friday was actually a huge day for rates. Like it erased a ton. It was one of those that when it goes against you, it's really, really bad. But this one
Yeah.
happened to kind of just like bring us back to where we were. So now if we can kind of keep some of this momentum, maybe we'll kind of start to stabilize here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I get asked quite a bit now what the rates are, and tell me if I'm wrong by saying this, but basically the mid to low threes or mid to low threes, mid to low.
Yes.
You are wrong.
Yes, you're
You are very
correct.
wrong, and you are leading everyone off. No, that's why everyone's calling you. Like all of a sudden, hey,
Right. Yeah.
I need to buy. I
Yeah.
need to buy.
What's these rates all about? I hear
Yeah,
they're in the
rates are
threes now.
6.3. You're like,
Huh?
no, no, okay, no, mid to low sixes, but
Yes.
I've heard, and am I wrong by saying that a lot of people seem to be buying down the rate or having sellers give concessions to buying in the mid fives? Is that
Yes.
kind of a
Yep.
fair? Okay,
Yep.
that's what I thought,
Fives
and
are
that's
big.
what I've seen with my buyers and my sellers is like they're kind of getting in that mid five range, buying down the rate. So we're getting closer to what you know, like a 3% to a 5%. Yes, that's still significant, but
Right.
you can buy down to a 5 to 5.5. Like
Yeah.
that's it's getting more reasonable to move,
Totally.
from that
And
rate.
it's I think that that's getting closer to where in my mind I see rates going and kind of stabilizing is somewhere in that low 5 range. Maybe they get down lower than that, but I feel like as we get closer to that, it starts to feel more like this is more of a reasonable territory.
Mhm, mhm.
Sevens, that's tough. Threes, probably not going to happen. Somewhere in between there, I think
Yeah,
that can really kinda start to stabilize. So we are seeing a lot more fives, um, typically bought down, but, like FHA loans, government loans, so VA and FHA, those are low sixes, high fives without any type of
without
buy
anything,
down.
huh?
So as the market continues to improve, we'll start to see the conventional loans get closer to there. But yeah, I think that the average when I looked this morning, the national average is 6.31. So that kind of gives you a general idea on where some of those lower ones are they are in the high fives, and then other ones. It's hard because with the averages, we want to look at it and just say the average is 6.3, which
Yeah,
means that's what everybody assumes the like a normal rate is.
okay,
Um, but you do still have your variance of loan types and
for sure, for
whatever's
sure.
going on. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
improving.
And we've seen that reflection, we've seen that maybe it is the 11th to the 16th. Remember that talk we had about the 11th to the 16th was like
Yeah,
the
the
week to
the
buy.
best
Like
buying time?
but we have seen an uptick, oddly enough, we have seen an uptick in buyer
Really?
activity and showings and things like that. So I don't know, maybe
Okay.
there was something to that, but I do think the rates are people are starting to see that, these are pretty
Yeah.
good rates and
Yeah.
especially with sellers giving concessions and being able to buy the rate down or have the sellers buy the rate down, which is even better.
Yes.
People are starting to get into more reasonable interest rates and getting into homes that they can afford. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a big
It was
deal.
interesting though. There's two stories that I saw that the profit margin on flipping a home is at a 17-year low due to the high prices of
Wow.
homes. But ironically, it's investors are buying more homes as traditional buyers are being priced out. So
Okay.
but flipping obviously has a high profit margin. Flippers
Sure.
generally
Yeah.
want the highest profit margin if they're going to flip. So that makes sense that, they're at a low now. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not making money if you make the smart
Right.
choice, but yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. It's and really the investors buying more doesn't surprise me either. We've
No,
talked
I mean,
about this
it's
multiple
a
times. Is
great
like if
time.
you're this is the best time to get in as an investor and buy properties if you can afford it. There's all sorts of
Mhm.
unique mortgages that are being offered, unique lending stuff that's being offered to
Yeah.
investors, and so I think we are starting to see that investors are like, I'm getting it. It's just like buying
Totally.
stocks when they're low. It's like
Yeah.
investors are like, I'm getting in now because 5 years from now, I'm going to be laughing at all you idiots that didn't do it. So,
Yes. Yeah.
including myself.
Right.
We are
Right.
looking at it. We are looking at it. So,
Okay, there you go.
but that's looking at it and doing it as one,
Right.
two different things.
Tire kicking.
Yes, for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of, I don't have anything new. Like I said, the 11th to the 16th apparently is a big deal. And we
Yeah, we got
actually
what,
have
one
seen
more day?
I've seen buyer activity pick up and things trucking along. So that's good. But yeah, pretty stable. Like I think, homes just sit on the market or are sitting on the market longer. It's just kind of getting back to, your home's not appreciating 20% year over year anymore.
Right.
It's appreciating 5% or,
Mhm.
depending on where you are, it's the more normal. And I think people are starting to stomach that and realize that the fantasy land is kind of over right now
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
that COVID brought us. So
Yes. It's taken a long time, but I feel
yeah,
like we're slowly starting to get like rates are starting to come down some, home prices have really leveled off.
yeah,
And it's kind of a weird blend. I still feel like it's much more of a buyer's market because of how soft things are, but it doesn't feel like it'll take much to put it back to, in the middle where
yeah, yeah,
maybe they're not sitting on there for 30, 40, 90 days, but they're moving, they're moving quicker and it's becoming more competitive. I don't feel like that'll take long, but um you know, who knows?
yeah. And I think like we have to the definition of buyers and sellers markets is kind of adapting in the sense that, you know, we say it's a buyer's market and it is ultimately because
Mhm.
of how heavy the seller's market was. So it has taken a rebound back to the more of the buyer's side. But from what I see with our individual contracts with sellers and buyers is a balance. It's, the buyers aren't being crazy in what they're asking. They're asking for some closing cost help. They're asking for maybe a lower price. They're not, you always have these offshoots that are asking for the world and, the seller's like, what is going on here? But we are seeing just more of balanced sales in the sense of like, hey, we got to work together if we want to get this done. So,
Yeah,
um, so I do think it's leaning. I think everyone thinks it's buyer heavy, and I guess you could say it is because historically over the last few years, buyers haven't been able to ask for anything, um, and now they are. And so I think people do see like, oh, that's a buyer's market, and I guess I don't know where I'm going with this, but maybe it is, but
sure.
I find it more balanced market.
Yeah,
Sellers can still sell their home. You just got to be patient. And then you also have to be open to working with unique deals or deals where the buyer needs some help. So,
sure. Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
think
all I got for you, man. What do you got? What's your opinion?
beautiful. No, I guess in my head, I've always just kind of thought like whoever has what seems like more of the leverage is, like in this case, in our current market, it feels more like a buyer's
Yeah.
market
Buyers
because I
have more
feel like
leverage for
a
sure.
buyer has more
For sure.
leverage, whereas a seller is a little more like, I kind of have to be willing to play
Absolutely.
ball here as
Yep.
opposed to before where it was like, nope, I'm good. I'll
Absolutely.
just wait
Yeah.
for the next one. So
No, you're right.
not
You're
saying
right.
it's like the prime time, like oh, how as a buyer, how can you pass up this opportunity?
Yeah.
But just as far as a leverage standpoint and there are, I mean, great opportunities. They're not ideal,
Mhm.
like they're not low rates, low prices, easy to buy. But how often, I know we've talked about this a million times now, like how often do we get those opportunities of low low rates, low costs, no competition? Like that just that
Not
combination doesn't
ever gonna
happen.
happen. Yeah. It's not ever gonna happen. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, people, if you're listening, stay tuned to our venture podcast with Joe and Cody. We've been
Yes.
doing this weekly, chatting with each other. I think we got another episode coming up this week. So go over to Apple, Spotify. If you're here on Facebook, sign up for like be our friend. What is it? Is it be our
Yeah.
friend or join what is it with a business? Do you have to like
Uh like,
I think it's like, right?
subscribe, comment, smash that like
Smash
button.
the like button. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. Hopefully my son doesn't see this. He'll defriend me for life.
Yeah,
But
he won't watch this far into it.
that's true. That's true. He has zero care about this.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay. Well, we'll chat with you soon, man.
Awesome, sounds good.
Okay.